So I had to wait like an entire hour to actually start recording this because my neighbor's car alarm was going off. Just wah, 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 wah. What's going on, guys? I'm Jeremiah here with Nuthouse Media, and you're watching another No Edits, No Cuts. Hope you've enjoyed this series so far. I've only done a couple, but, you know, it's something different. Something, I don't know, that I don't see very often on YouTube, so I figured I'd give the people what they've never asked for. Just a good old conversation. Today, I want to talk about how I got started, I guess, in photography necessarily, because that's where I started, was with photography, and then ended up moving into the video side of things while still, of course, doing photography, just not as much of it. But I wanted to start from the beginning, you know, kind of talk about my life for a little bit and what I've gone through, honestly. Again, this is a No Edits, No Cuts. I'm probably going to stumble a lot, but you'll probably laugh. Probably. I wonder how many times I can say that just this video. I'm not counting it because, you know, I'm not going to do that, but you can totally count it. I guess we can just jump in, honestly. I hope you enjoyed the little backdrop thing. If you've watched it, thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. It was really rough, nothing crazy going on, but it shows me installing this crazy white backdrop back here. It was a hell of a, I guess, experience. Didn't go up the way I was hoping it would, but eventually I got it taken care of, and well, there you go. So go check that out and click that little thing that pops up right there if you want. So to start off this No Edits, No Cuts, after all the other stuff that I've already started off with, I want to go back, I don't know, a good, how many years is it? 12, 15? I'm high 20s. I don't know. High 20s. I'm 28, and I started doing, you know, video stuff with my brothers in the backyard. Did, like, I don't know, Star Wars things and Matrix remake. I don't know. It was a bunch of weird videos. I have them all on my old YouTube. If you just search Jeremiah Fanning, you'll get all of these different YouTube channels that pop up. Be careful on what you click. There's some old stuff in there. Nothing crazy, but just a bunch of really bad videos. Go check it out if you want. I'm not gonna link it. You can find it. Because I don't pride myself on that work. It's just kind of what I started on. And then I moved to California when I turned 20. So I had it in my mind, I don't know, probably throughout my teens that I wanted to move to California, mainly because I was born in Alabama, and all I could think about was how getting away from Alabama would make my life better. But that's not the case. I mean, yes, of course, going to California was incredible. But 6 months later, I wanted to move back pretty immediately. I didn't because, you know, it's me. Oh, that's no good. So I didn't even think about it. Let me fix something really fast. Pause. Unpause? Just kidding, I never paused it. You saw the whole thing. Why can't I get comfortable now? I think it's the leg. Oh, that's nice. So again, my time in California, of course, I was 20. So I moved out there before I was 21, which meant I got a lot of experience in my life before I ended up turning 21 in California. Literally, June 4th is my birthday. Send me all the gifts you want whenever that time comes around. Thank you. But literally 5 days after my birthday, 2011, June, like, I don't know, 10th, 15th, 14th, something like that, I packed up my Trailblazer in a U-Haul trailer and drove my ass out to California, Los Angeles to be exact. And the exact date in Los Angeles, where did I move? Ooh, my first place in LA was North Hollywood. It was a great city. Actually, it was a little bit more North Hollywood. It was getting really close to, the northern part of it, and whatever. I lived in NoHo? There's no way. That was such a blur. So that was like 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. I lived in this little apartment for about 6 months. Decided I was done living in that apartment. I wanted to get my own place with my buddy that I was living with in that apartment. And, we decided to get our own place in Van Nuys for an entire year. This year was incredible. It just hung out, didn't do a whole lot. Ate a lot of Chinese. There's a lot of Chinese food there. This is a really good, they give you massive plates. Van Nuys there's a lot that goes on there. But I enjoyed it. It was a full year of that. And then moved to Woodland Hills, Sherman Oaks. Stayed in the Valley a lot. That sums up pretty much my time in California. I did a lot Disneyland or going to Hollywood for, once or twice. I didn't like going to Hollywood. It's really gross. So I stayed away from that area and kept within my Woodland Hills, Malibu, over in that area. I really, really enjoyed. I worked in Malibu half the time, so that was my home pretty much. I lived in Woodland Hills and worked in Malibu. It was a perfect setup. Couldn't ask for more. So about 6 years go on, I'm living in California, and I think to myself, what am I doing? Why am I here? What brought me to this point in time where I'm in California? I'm not doing any videography. I'm not doing any photography. I'm working in a restaurant in Malibu. I was making good money. I wasn't mad about it. So why would I question what I'm doing if I'm making money, right? Wrong. Just because you're making money doesn't mean that's going to make you happy. Money doesn't make me happy. That's the last thing that honestly makes me happy. Yes, you need it, but I don't care for it. My happiness comes from things I enjoy doing, which is photography, videography, creating things. I just enjoy creating. There's something about it that really knocks my knockers. That didn't work. I don't like that one. Really tickles my tilly. That one will do. So 2016 comes around and a bunch of crazy stuff happens in my studio apartment where I was living with two of my friends, and everything falls to shit. And I sit down on my refrigerator, on my floor in front of my refrigerator, sitting there thinking, what am I doing with my life? Why am I here? My two best friends are no longer in my life at this point. And what am I doing? So sitting there on my refrigerator, not on top of it, but, just leaning on it, I decided I was done. I decided I was done not doing anything. I was ready to begin my adventures, my journey on creating a business, I guess. I didn't know it at the time, but apparently this is what I was going after the whole time. Who knew? So I move out of the studio apartment that all my, my other two friends and I were living in, break the lease early. They were really nice to let us do that, since we were no longer living together anymore. I know when you hear 3 people and then a studio, it sounds really bad. I mean, clearly it was, because it exploded. Not the actual studio, but the friendships. It's a close living space. 1 on the couch, 2 in the bed. So that exploded. I had an epiphany, I guess you would call it. And I started studying photography again. I started studying everything about it and learning how to actually customize all the settings on a camera, or, utilize a camera, tried to figure out what camera I wanted to use because there were so many. I didn't want to pick the wrong camera to start out with, which I definitely don't feel like I picked the wrong camera. My very first camera came to me 2016, pretty much December 1st. I think it was a day or two before December 1st. Because I went out that day, that December 1st was the first day that I actually took a photo, a real photo with my camera. The day or two before that, I was playing around with it, taking little pictures here and there, making sure I actually knew the camera, because I was studying for about 3 months prior to even buying a camera. I also needed money. So I used those 3 months to study, to save money, and also to figure out what I wanted, what I needed. So I was patient, mostly because money, but also because I knew I needed to do it right. I knew I wanted to do it right because it's so easy to just take a camera, start clicking, and be like, I know everything. I got a great shot once. So I wanted to make sure I knew more than I thought I knew about cameras before I even bought one. Canon 5D Mark II from eBay for $800 was the first camera I purchased. And then, so 5D Mark IV, 5D Mark II. And then I also bought a 50 millimeter Canon lens. Of course, the $100 50 millimeter. Bought one of those as my very first lens. But very quickly after, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks, not even a month, I purchased the Zeiss 35 millimeter 2.0 prime. This lens is absolutely butter. I'm gonna do a review on it because it's so worth it. I absolutely love this lens, and it has taken so many fantastic photos. I have taken so many fantastic photos with it. I would show you a few, but what I could do is redirect you to our website, which is nuthousemedia2018.com, and then go into, our photo section, I guess, landscape. I started out with landscape photos, so you can go check those out. We have some portraits on there as well, but mainly what you want to look at is the landscape that I ended up doing. 99% of it was done on that 35 millimeter Zeiss. That was my baby. I use that lens for everything. I'm saying it is a past tense because I am now using a Zeiss 24 to 70 millimeter that has autofocus. I did not start out with an autofocus lens. The 50 millimeter was an autofocus, but I didn't use it. I knew I wanted to start out manual on everything, and that's what I did for an entire year, 2 years. I used manual lenses. I didn't use autofocus. The only reason I got an autofocus lens, which is the one we're using right now, is because of YouTube. The focusing is so difficult when you don't have an autofocus lens. I couldn't vlog, I couldn't do this stuff. I wasn't able to get a clear focus, and I was really upset about it. It's no fun. So I had to get a new lens eventually. That 35 I still use all the time. When I make the video, hopefully you'll be able to find it through all this junk that I've been posting. But, if you can't, I'll shove it in your face in another video at some point. Don't worry about it. You'll find it. So that was my first camera. Canon 5D Mark II with a Zeiss on the body. I think I had a battery grip as well. It was a bad battery grip. It wasn't the Canon version, so it went out on me a decent amount. I ended up not using it at some point. It was just a bunch of hooly mess. It was a big mess, pretty much. So 2016, I'm a photographer, right? Boom, done. Not necessarily. So that happens at pretty much the beginning of 2017 is when I start, doing actual photos. Throughout January I do landscape, and then February I start incorporating portraits. I started asking the people around Soho, the place that I used to work, if I could take photos of them for free. Yes, for free, because why would I ask someone to pay me when I don't know my craft? I mean, yeah, that would have been awesome. Some of them did pay me. Some of them paid me 50, 100, little money here and there. It was really nice. I did some headshots, portraits. Some of them I just wanted to do because I wanted to do it. I needed the experience, and I didn't mind utilizing my time doing it that way. Whatever. So I went on. 2016 came the summer, and I decided to move to Alabama because I had been away in California for so long. It had been 6 to 7 years at that point, and my mom had been going through a lot with cancer. She was in stage 4 for 4.5, 5 years before she actually ended up passing. She was such a fighter and an incredible woman. So I came back to be with the family, to be with my mom, to spend the time that I knew was so important. You don't get time back. Time doesn't exist. It just passes. You don't get it back. So I knew I would regret the hell out of it if I didn't come back. Granted, I did end up moving back to California for 3 months, living out of my car. Talk about that later. But I wanted to come back. Stayed here a year. I was pretty miserable because, I don't know, I something about Alabama where I feel like I can't do the things I want. I feel like I can't be, a filmmaker. But that's not true. It's not about where you are. It's about how much dedication, how much, whatever that other word is that I'm looking for. It's about how much of that you have. And if you don't have that, what are you doing? Dedication, motivation, any other words? I don't know. I can't think of them. There's a camera in front of me. Of course I can't think of them. Hope you like this light setup. I'm actually really enjoying this little thing going on here. It's odd. I really enjoy it. This video is becoming a really long video too, so hope you've enjoyed that. To try to wrap up my California stay a little bit faster than I have been, it was incredible being able to experience the I'm gonna say 6.5, I'm gonna say 7 years. It was 7. The 7 years I lived in California, learning, creating, getting bashed on, not by people, just by California itself. But it's a rough world. You're hard on yourself throughout the entire time because there's so much pressure, so much motivation around. It's so strange how it turns into that. California was incredible. I ended up becoming a filmmaker because of it. I wouldn't change it for the world. And now, what year are we in? 2020? Oh my gosh. I've been a photographer for 3 years now, filmmaker for about 1.5, 2. And I am absolutely in love with it. I've always known this is where I wanted to go. I didn't know how to get there. So I just jumped up because I had to make sure my camera was still recording. Because Sony doesn't record past 30 minutes. If it had been 30 minutes already, I would have felt bad for you because you would still be watching. We're at about 20 minutes right now. Give me another 2 to 3. I'm gonna wrap this up and you can go about your day. If I knew what I was talking about before I just in myself, that'd be a lot easier, but I don't remember. So let's start from the beginning. Kidding, totally kidding. But I really don't know where it was. Let's start from taking things from California. Actually, let's take things back. So I've done, the Alabama to California drive, of course, cross-country driving. I've done that 8, 10 times. Why? Why have I driven that many times? It's so much money, so much gas, so many miles. Texas alone is almost 1,000 long, 1,000 miles. It's crazy. It is a big state. So that's, what I'm trying to say is, it's not where you are. It is how you utilize the space around you. It's how you think about what you can do rather than what you can't do. Honestly, I don't think I explained anything about me actually becoming a photographer or a videographer. I'm gonna have to do this one again in the future because this was awful. I didn't have any points or anything laid out. Nothing, just yapping on and on. So it is now 2020. Nuthouse Media has been, what, a year? Nuthouse is a year old now. November 2018, hence the name Nuthouse Media 2018. November 2018 was when Nuthouse started. We started with The Adventures of Zach and Pat, actually, which is a series that we're going to be releasing in the summer of 2020, August 28th to be exact. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be hilarious. I'm Pat, roommate is Zach. Just wait. My real name is not Pat. My actor name in the show is Pat. You're gonna love it. I love it. So of course you're gonna love it. Who am I kidding? Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'm out of things to say because honestly, I don't know what I've said the entire time. Hope you've gotten nothing bad out of this. Hopefully everything was good, right? You're dumb. We have a lot more on YouTube, by the way, than just these things. We do commercials, ads, and stuff. Go check them out if you want to see more of our production. Instagram, you can find us at nuthousemedia_LLC. And we do daily Instagram stories, which are a lot of fun to record, and they're a lot of fun to see people's reactions. Especially when you don't see Instagram stories like ours very much. They're different, so go check them out. Even if you don't follow us, highly recommend following us. But if you don't, go leave us a comment. Say, hey, what's up? I don't care. Say how bad our little Instagram stories are. Don't, because they're not bad. They're actually fantastic, so go check it out. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna just stop talking. I'm Jeremiah. You're watching Nuthouse Media. Go do some other things on YouTube. You could go look at my old videos that I was talking about. Don't do that. God, don't do that, please. Oh, I'm so thirsty. Oh, actually, before you click off, do you want to see this really fast? You might like it. This is the setup. Isn't it glorious?